The world is still recovering. After the blip, everyone came back, but nothing feels the same. The Avengers saved the universe, but they lost Tony Stark. And for Peter Parker, that loss still lingers. He feels like he needs to be the next Iron Man, but he's not ready. He's just trying to go on a school trip, tell MJ how he feels, and take a break from being Spider-Man. But the world isn't ready to let him. This is a recap for Spider-Man Far From Home, picking up shortly after the events of Avengers Endgame. Let's get into it. In a small town in Mexico, an unnatural storm tears through the landscape. Agents Nick Fury and Maria Hill arrive to investigate. Suddenly, the ground erupts, and a massive creature made of stone and debris rises from the earth. The Earth Elemental. Hill opens fire, but the creature barely reacts. And just as things begin to spiral out of control, a glowing figure descends from the sky. A man in a flowing cape unleashes bright green energy blasts, striking the creature with overwhelming force. The battle is brief but intense, and with one final surge, the elemental collapses. The mysterious figure steps forward. He calls himself Quentin Beck. Fury watches him carefully. The world has lost heroes, and suddenly, a new one has appeared. Back in New York, Midtown School of Science and Technology is finishing its school year. Everything still feels strange after the blip, when half of all life vanished and then returned 5 years later thanks to the Avengers. Students who disappeared came back the same age they were, which means some of their classmates are suddenly 5 years older. For Peter Parker, things haven't felt normal since losing his mentor, Tony Stark. Everywhere he goes, people keep asking the same question: who will replace Iron Man? Peter doesn't want to think about that. He just wants a normal summer, a 2-week school trip through Europe, and maybe the chance to finally tell MJ how he feels. When Fury tries calling him, Peter lets it go to voicemail. For once, Spider-Man is taking a vacation. Peter and his classmates arrive in Venice, Italy. The trip starts peacefully, boat rides through the canals, historic buildings, and tourists everywhere. Then, the water begins to rise. From the canals emerges a towering creature made entirely of water, the Water Elemental. Chaos erupts across the city. Peter quickly slips away, throwing on a masquerade mask to stay hidden as he helps evacuate civilians and protect his classmates. But the battle is quickly overtaken by the mysterious hero from Mexico. Quentin Beck arrives, unleashing bright green energy blasts against the creature. The fight tears through Venice, water crashing through buildings and bridges collapsing, and crowds scrambling to escape. But after one final strike, the creature dissolves. In the aftermath, Italian news reports begin covering the attack. They refer to him as a mysterious hero in Italian. Flash hears it and gives him a name: Mysterio. Later that night, Fury tries calling Peter again, but Peter ignores it. But Fury is already there, waiting in his hotel room. Ned is unconscious, quietly put to sleep. Fury tells Peter to suit up and come with him. On the way to his hideout, Fury gives Peter a pair of glasses left behind by Tony Stark. They're connected to an advanced artificial intelligence system, Edith for short. With it, Peter can access Stark Industries satellites and command a network of weaponized drones orbiting the planet. Fury tells him the world needs heroes, and Spider-Man can help, but Peter still feels like he's not ready. At the hideout, Fury introduces Peter to Beck. Beck explains where he came from. He claims he's from another Earth, another universe entirely. In his world, the elementals destroyed everything: earth, water, air, and fire. One by one, they took his world apart. Now, 3 of them have appeared here. Only the fire elemental remains, and Beck believes it will strike next in Prague. Fury wants Peter to help stop it, but Peter refuses. He just wants to finish the school trip and spend time with MJ. But Fury has other plans. Quietly, he changes the itinerary, and before Peter knows it, the class is on its way to Prague, whether he likes it or not. Fury arranges a tour bus to take Peter's class to Prague. The driver is one of Fury's agents. Along the route, the bus makes a scheduled stop. Peter is pulled aside by the driver, and another of Fury's agents, a female operative. They hand him a new suit, a stealth suit, all black, tactical, built for covert operations. They tell him to wear it, because if Spider-Man keeps showing up everywhere Peter's class goes, people are going to start asking questions. As Peter changes, things get complicated. Another student, Brad, walks in and sees Peter mid-change, with the female agent standing nearby. It looks bad. Brad quickly snaps a picture and says he's going to show MJ. Back on the bus, Peter panics. He tries to use Edith to delete the photo, whispering commands so no one hears him. But Edith misunderstands. Instead of deleting the picture, it marks Brad as a threat. A Stark drone is deployed, locking onto the bus, preparing to eliminate the target. Peter scrambles to stop it, barely managing to destroy the drone before anyone notices. The bus keeps moving, the trip continues, but Peter is starting to realize he might not be ready for this kind of power. In Prague, a summer festival is underway. Lights, music, fireworks. For a moment, everything feels normal. Peter, knowing the danger that's coming, tries to steer his class away from the carnival, suggesting they go see the opera instead. As the opera begins, the ground starts to shake. Flames erupt into the sky, and the fire elemental emerges, a towering inferno tearing through the city. Buildings ignite, and the festival descends into chaos. Peter sneaks off to suit up and join Beck in the fight, but MJ, Ned, and Betty follow behind, trying to find him. Together, Peter and Beck take on the creature in the middle of the city. Beck unleashes powerful green energy blasts, pushing the elemental back. Peter supports him, keeping civilians safe and creating openings, until finally, Beck rises into the air, charging one final attack, about to sacrifice it all, and with a massive explosion, the fire elemental is destroyed. To the world, Beck looks like a savior, a hero strong enough to stand beside the Avengers. After the battle, Fury suggests forming a new team, but Peter doesn't see himself in that role. He still wants to be a normal teen, to spend time with MJ, and he thinks the world needs someone stronger, someone like Beck. So Peter makes a decision. He transfers control of Edith to him, handing over access to Stark's global defense system, passing along Tony Stark's most powerful technology, and with it, a piece of Iron Man's legacy. After the battle in Prague, Peter reunites with MJ. MJ already knows the truth. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter tries to deny it at first, but MJ has already figured it out. She tells Peter she's been watching him closely for a while because she suspected he was Spider-Man. The comment catches Peter off guard, and Peter asks if that's the only reason she's been so interested in him, because she thought he was Spider-Man. MJ awkwardly says yes, but it's obvious she's not being completely honest. Before Peter can think about it any longer, MJ shows him something she picked up during the battle. A small piece of debris from the fire elemental attack. At first, it looks like alien technology, but when Peter examines it more closely, he realizes what it really is. A holographic projector. And suddenly everything clicks. The elementals, Beck's powers, the destruction, none of it was real. The monsters were illusions, and Peter starts to understand the truth. Mysterio isn't a hero. He's a scientist. Someone who once worked for Tony Stark, someone who feels he was wronged, and now, with the help of others like him, he's using these illusions to tear down Stark's legacy. Peter realizes he's made a terrible mistake, because now, Beck controls Edith, and with it, Tony Stark's entire drone system. Peter rushes to Berlin to warn Fury about Beck, but when he arrives, something feels off, because Fury is already acting strangely. And moments later, Peter realizes the truth. It's another illusion. Beck intercepts him using hundreds of weaponized drones and holographic projectors. Suddenly, reality begins to collapse around him. Buildings twist and fold in impossible ways, the ground disappears beneath his feet, nightmares begin to surround him, even a zombie version of Iron Man crawls out of the ground. A giant Mysterio towers over the city. Peter can't tell what's real anymore. Every direction becomes another illusion, another trap. Beck continues manipulating the hallucination, breaking Peter down psychologically, until Peter accidentally reveals the names of the friends who know the truth about him. And once Beck has what he wants, the illusion ends violently. Peter stumbles into the path of a speeding train and is hit head-on. Beck leaves him for dead. Peter survives the impact. Badly injured, he wakes up in the Netherlands. Arrested and locked in a jail cell, he manages to escape and contacts Happy Hogan. Happy arrives in one of Stark's private jets. As they take off toward London, Peter starts to regroup. He's shaken and doubting himself, but Happy reminds him, Tony chose him for a reason. During the flight, Peter steps into the fabricator, designing a new Spider-Man suit using Stark technology. For the first time since Tony's death, Peter begins to believe he can carry that responsibility. Meanwhile, in London, Beck launches his final illusion, a massive apocalyptic event, combining all four elementals into one catastrophic attack: fire, water, earth, and air, and hidden within it all, thousands of weaponized drones. Peter arrives and charges straight into the illusion, but this time, he doesn't rely on what he sees. He trusts his instincts, his spider sense, the Peter tingle. Moving through the chaos, he weaves between attacks, destroying drone after drone until the illusion begins to collapse, and Peter finally reaches Beck. He regains control of Edith, the drones begin to shut down, and the illusion fades. But Beck has one last trick. An invisible drone lines up the shot, ready to execute Peter, but Peter reacts instantly. Trusting his spider sense, he stops the attack. The shot misfires and hits Beck instead. Mysterio falls, defeated by his own plan. Back in New York, Peter finally enjoys a moment of peace, swinging through the city with his now girlfriend MJ. For the first time in a long time, things feel normal. And then suddenly, a news broadcast cuts across the screens in Times Square, hosted by J. Jonah Jameson of thedailybugle.net. The footage shows the battle in London, but it's been manipulated. Clips of Peter are twisted, made to look like he's giving commands, saying things like, "Execute them all," painting him as the one responsible for the destruction, framing him for Beck's death, making him look like a murderer. And then Jameson drops one final bombshell. He plays one last clip, Mysterio's final moments. Beck, beaten and dying, looks into the camera and says, "Spider-Man's identity is Peter Parker." Standing in the middle of Times Square, Peter can only stare in shock. His life has just been turned upside down. In a separate post-credit scene, it's revealed that Fury and Hill we've been following aren't Fury and Hill at all. They're Skrulls, Talos and Soren, working undercover following orders from the real Nick Fury, who isn't on Earth. He's off-world commanding a growing Skrull operation, somewhere deep in space, preparing for what comes next. And that wraps up Spider-Man Far From Home. By the end of this story, Peter stops trying to be the next Iron Man and starts becoming Spider-Man. Not by filling Tony Stark's shoes, but by trusting himself, his instincts, his choices, and the responsibility that comes with them. But just as he finds his footing, everything is taken away, because now the entire world knows who he is, and Peter Parker is about to face something he's never dealt with before, an identity crisis on a global scale. His story picks up immediately in the next Spider-Man film, Spider-Man No Way Home, so check that out next. And remember, we're here to watch the realities and guide you through the timelines.